Hope everyone's doing well. That was a great little introduction. So this is going to be a continuation. I was kind of starting with like the depression for different MBTI types, and the link is in the description below what I'm reading from. And so we're going to do the next four, and then there's one more with the last four. So the four that are going to be in this one are the ENFPs, ISTJs, ISFJs, and ESFJs. And so I'm just going to be reading off of it and just kind of sharing my thoughts on it. And I would love to hear if you are one of these types, like, do you feel this way or do you like concur with it? And if you do, what are some ways that you help to try to combat these feelings? And if you don't, what do you feel when you feel, I guess, the depression, but like what builds up to this kind of depression or builds up to that kind of, I don't know, hurts inside of you and whatnot. So the ENFP, the title is A Lack of Purpose in Their Lives. ENFPs derive fulfillment through work in which they can have a voice and be creative. Furthermore, they desire a variety of challenges and new experiences to keep them interested. They want to feel like they are growing and working towards something substantial and meaningful, but if their lives start to stagnate and the flow of fresh opportunities dries up, it can demoralize ENFP and make them feel lost and without direction. And actually, this is kind of interesting because I have some ENFP friends. I really do like the ENFP type. I guess who doesn't? But because we have a special kind of connection that other types with them don't necessarily have, because with the ENFPs, they are really exciting and exuberant to other people. But as soon as I get to have an ENFP alone and we get to talk, they actually end up being very deep and thoughtful people. But since I don't know, something about them being around other people kind of takes that away from them, and because they focus more on being like exciting and I don't really know what their like purpose is, what they are when they're trying to incorporate themselves in a people with people when they're in people when they're in people and they come out like an alien. But when I get to talk with them like with alone, they definitely have some really good some insights that's surprising. But yeah, I got to talk with some of them and how they would hate to be on like a punch in clock schedule at work, and they, like, for instance, Riley, if you remember him from some of my videos, he is also an ENFP, but he works that day-to-day kind of that job, and he's actually kind of quitting soon. And so it was interesting watching him where he didn't really have those new opportunities and whatnot, and it was seen as a weakness that he would want these opportunities, these newnesses, and that kind of makes me kind of feel bad for him, is because when people need something but it's seen as a problem or not really a problem but like a weakness or a like almost even a moral issue, but it's like, no, they just thrive on a different stigma, I guess. And so I would hate to like take that away from them if for any reason I'm like a part in a team and they need certain kinds of like new experiences, and to take that away from them would be terrible. So anyway, so ENFPs out there, what do you guys think? So next one, ISTJs, our favorite ones. No, no, you guys are like the bedrock of our civilization almost. So for them, a lack of structure and function in their lives. I can definitely concur with that. Just kind of seeing other ISTJs. ISTJ's sanity depends on knowing what to expect and having a comfortable routine and plan of action. This is a completely opposite of ESFPs, which is funny. I guess they are completely opposite, isn't it? Yeah, even with the letters. Where am I? Routine and plan of action to follow. Disruptions to their regiments and being forced to improvise or figure things out in unfamiliar circumstances or environments can make the ISTJ feel like they've been thrown to the wolves. Having to deal with constantly changing circumstances and unpredictable or reliable things may have a demoralizing effect on ISTJ's psyche, which that's just hilarious. Just how what makes them drain is what makes ENFPs thrive. And so you just kind of wonder, is there a law of non-contradiction here? Is it possible to have two the same thing? I don't know. Or two things that are completely opposite. That was just a random thought. Anyways, but it was just kind of cool how, like, even, yeah, I wouldn't, that strength that they have with that kind of regiment also is kind of like it makes it difficult for, ISTJs and I to really coagulate, because I really do appreciate the more, explorative, just being more explorative, like an ENFP, and ENFPs allow me to pursue that part of me because they like to draw that out. But yeah, but that's really good for ISTJs because they're going to be steady. You can depend on them, and as much as like my types and ENFP types might not really know how to interact with them, because ISTJs, it feels like we have to bend to them. If we're wanting to make a relationship work, we have to do most of the work. So it feels like, and they won't change for anyone, which can be good, but can be frustrating when you're trying to meet on a half and half. But anyway, so that's actually really interesting. So keeping them in a steady regiment makes them feel steady and, I guess, secure. ISFJs, these are interesting individuals, having no one to care for or feeling unneeded. Even though they're introverted, human connection is very important to the ISFJ person. They are likely to feel a bit empty when they don't have a support role to play or people around them who genuinely appreciate what they do. Losing a loved one or having a limited ability to help someone close to them who is suffering can also burn them out emotionally and leave them deeply depressed. Wow. So yeah, I worked with an ISFJ individual at a warehouse, and it was just interesting how he has a very sincere way about him, and he was always even with the S, he's always articulating every step of the way, and I'm like, I got it, don't need that, but I didn't say that. It's just kind of, you just nod, because you can feel that he's very sincere about wanting to help, want to make sure what can he do to improve what you're doing, and how can he be of service and stuff like that. So that's really nice of them to be able to do that. My aunt is an ISFJ, and we don't know each other too well, but I can see that in how she interacts with her family a little bit. Actually, I'm going to see them on Thanksgiving, so that's gonna be fun. But anyway, so yeah, ISFJs, what do you think? When you feel like you are not needed and stuff, what do you do to find that need or from other people and whatnot? So ESFJs, a lack of friendship and people to talk to. Friends and family are very important as part of ESFJ's sense of identity and need for belonging. They are very social, and so when they find themselves in a situation with limited human contact or among people who do not include them or make them feel welcome, it can be very hard for the ESFJ. ESFJs do not like spending excessive time alone, and if they cannot find anyone to hang out with them, it can be demoralizing and sap their spirit. Which, interestingly enough, this kind of resonates with me. This is, though, my complete opposite, so I wonder if there is some kind of connection. But I really do appreciate when there are people that I like, like my family or some close friends. If I am away from them for too long, it can be very difficult, because I like having that interaction, but it's more for people that are really close to me, just because they were saying friends and family are very important. But that's interesting. So they're very interactive in the social sphere, and so I'm curious. I don't think I know an ESFJ, so I'm trying to think through and just kind of see if I know somebody, but I don't know what this looks like. So I would be curious, any ESFJs out there, what you think, and if you find yourself in this situation, how do you combat this? How you go and meet new people? What kind of people do you see yourself attracting to? Do you just kind of want to talk to anybody, or is there a certain type that resonates with you? I would like to actually meet an ESFJ, because I'm just realizing that this is my complete opposite, and at least letter-wise on there. But I don't know. So if this is one of your types, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if this isn't your type, like, have you interacted with these types before? And what do you do? Do you see them like leaning into this depressive state? Do you ever help them in this place, or even just do you concur by who you've interacted with in your past? Anyway, so I will see you guys in another video, another life. You never know. Peace out.